CBS Sports coverage of the National Basketball Association is sponsored by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? Visa, accepted worldwide for shopping, dining, and travel. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be. And by Milky Way Bar. A Milky Way a day helps you work, rest, and play.
We're at 67-year-old Chicago Stadium, where the Milwaukee Bucks trail the Chicago Bulls 59-57 at halftime. We talked about Don Nelson and Doug Collins and their repertoire of ties. Is that not awful?
Yours is ugly. I kind of like my Barracuda.
Yeah, you're Barracuda, all right. Well, you come to Chicago, you never know, folks. This may set a new fashion trend. That's an official tie.
Well,
you want to talk about the half?
I think let's get to the half. I thought that both teams played very good basketball in the first half. The thing that was fascinating to me is that the excellent job that the Chicago Bulls did while Michael Jordan was sitting on the bench. That's something that earlier in the year you would not have seen. You know, Michael Jordan for them early in the year would have to play 24 minutes to keep them in this ball game. But Doug Collins has brought this team along. I think Don Nelson has to be pretty pleased where he is too, with only down 2 points. When you look at the box score and you see where Sidney Moncrief has 2 points and Price has 2 points, and that's something that I'm sure he's going to look to turn around early in this half.
Don Nelson now in his 11th year. This team going after its 8th consecutive division title. And they're not accustomed to being 2.5 back at this. They're used to being in the lead, but I think the schedule might favor Milwaukee down the road.
And Don Nelson likes this. It's something different, something new, a great challenge, and he feels very confident that his team can come back and challenge for that division lead. You know, when you look at Detroit's schedule, who's now leading this division, they play their last 13 out of 17 games on the road, and there's a West Coast trip in there as well. So they're going to have their hands full to maintain that lead.
Milwaukee will inbound. John Lucas, Paul Pressey, Sidney Moncrief, Jack Sikma, and Terry Cummings. Starting quintet in for them. And for Chicago, Paxson, Michael Jordan, Gene Banks, Corzine, and Charles Oakley. Battle on the floor, won by Sikma, off the glass and in.
The one thing you notice, though, Sidney Moncrief does not have that feeling, you know, from being out for so long. His timing is just not right, because that's a move that is his strength, and he doesn't miss that very often.
Paxson, Jordan with Pressey on him.
Well, you see how aggressive that Don Nelson has his team defensively. There was the pick and roll, and Sikma stepping out, stopping Paxson coming off that screen.
Inbounded by Banks. Corzine finds Paxson.
Right now there's a mismatch. Corzine's got Moncrief on him.
Nice move by Banks, but then he misses the shot, and Moncrief takes care of it for Milwaukee. Lucas picked up by Banks, goes right side for Sidney Moncrief. Across to Sikma. Pressey for three.
Now this Milwaukee team looks for the three-point shot more than any team in the NBA. I think one of the reasons, Vern, is they really only have one forward, you would say, on their team, Terry Cummings. The rest are guards or the 7-footers.
Corzine to Oakley. Nice pass to Michael Jordan, but the shot's not there. And the rebound comes down Milwaukee's way as Pressey brings it up. Left side to Cummings. Shot short, taken and saved by Paxson. John Paxson having the best of his 3 years as a pro. That shot won't fall. Kind of a slow start for both teams. Whistle, foul underneath.
You wonder if Gene Banks will realize that he's having a tough time in there, because these guys are 7 feet tall. And if he does anything, he's got to fake them or take the ball to the other side of the hoop to be effective when he's in that deep.
10-13 to go. 62-59 Milwaukee. Jordan.
He just beat 2 players, you know. It would look so easy, but there's maybe 2 or 3 players in all of basketball that can do that.
Ball rejected by Corzine.
You see Oakley setting that screen and popping out. Now watch, Terry Cummings comes over and helps. He just slides right through. Just beautiful.
Long rebound, Michael Jordan. Jordan now with 17. Bounce pass to Corzine. Corzine takes the shot with a 1-on-4 edge for Milwaukee underneath the basket.
You're right, Vern. That's a shot he shouldn't have taken. Did not have the advantage.
Sikma. Terry Cummings. Illegal defense. And now Billy Cunningham will spend the next hour explaining the philosophy and technique of illegal defense?
Well, I think I know it, and I did not see any illegal defense that time.
Well, we got a timeout for you to think about it. Sometimes it's not so tough. Bill Cunningham had 90 seconds and found the illegal defense.
Well, thanks to you, Vern. You pointed it out to me, but here's the man illegal. Charles Oakley, the man he is supposed to be guarding, is right there. Now watch what happens. He's still there. He's still there. Now the ball swings, and he's just not moving, playing anybody, and he tries to recover. Now, what he had to do to be legal is to go back and double-team Terry Cummings. If he did that, he would not have been in an illegal defense.
And now you all understand illegal defenses.
Thank you, Vern, for that little... Thank goodness we had that commercial time. You could explain it to me.
Thank you, Professor Cunningham. 62-61. Here's Cummings left side, guarded by Oakley.
Looking to force him to the middle if they can, and then they'll look to double. You see Paxson right there.
Pressey for three. Gets it again. Pressey with 15 points now.
But you see, with the lineup that they have on the court, with Moncrief, Lucas, Pressey, Cummings, they'd like to spread the court and allow these guys to either penetrate or to look to spot up for those three-point shots, and they're so effective doing it.
Milwaukee is 4 of 5 on three-pointers. Oakley to Corzine. Gets the bounce. Corzine not expecting the pass, puts it up anyway and gets it.
Well, that's a lucky shot, Corzine.
Yes.
He just threw that one towards the iron, but you see how Corzine and Oakley love to pass the ball to each other.
65-63, Moncrief.
Just doesn't look right, Vern. He's not going up strong for that jump shot. I'm sure that knee is bothering him.
Gene Banks rejected by Cummings, and then Corzine puts it up. Banks is going to get a Purple Heart before it's over.
Well, you wonder. Now we'll see this. When he gets the ball inside, there's three people that are going to surround him, and Terry Cummings gets the block. But he able to battle in there and draw the foul.
I mean, it never ends, and it wasn't like that at Duke.
No, it wasn't. He could let Juminski do all that work when he was down at Duke.
Even the student section wasn't that tough. Here's Banks to shoot two.
Gene Banks adds an enthusiasm and an aggressiveness for this ball club, and I think he was an excellent addition to this club. You know, if you look at the players that were traded from this team, from Woolridge and Daly left the ball club, Oldham, Coulter, Green, George Gervin's no longer with him. Before the season, I could not figure out how they would score 100 points, but sometimes in basketball you add by subtracting, and it appears that they've done that here in Chicago.
Banks misses both. Milwaukee has the lead and the ball. Sidney Moncrief, that's short. Paul Pressey puts it up after a fine rebounding effort and gets two.
When a team shoots long jump shots, it means there's long rebounds, so you have to check your man further out on the court. And there was a case where Pressey was not checked out.
Michael going one-on-one with Cummings. Banks, that's a poor decision.
Yeah, Gene Banks, for some reason today, is a little too aggressive offensively. He's the type of player that he's got to get out and run, get a few loose balls here and there, or get a dish off from Michael Jordan going to the hoop. And I think that's one of the reasons that Doug Collins is taking him out of the game. You know, he's just forcing a little too much offensively.
Brad Sellers, good pass to Oakley.
Oakley just threw Cummings to the backstop and was able to receive that direct pass.
67-65. Oakley now with 10 points. Jack Sickman takes it in on Corzine. Fans wanted a 3-second call, didn't get one. Loose ball foul in the backcourt. Moncrief.
Now, in the first half, we saw Sickman able to get the young of Oakley and Sellers off their feet and draw the contact or drive around them. We saw Corzine, the veteran, knew that he had to keep his feet on the floor. He probably could, he's not a very good jumper. That's probably what helped him in that situation, but forced the bad shot.
But Brad Sellers at 7 feet brings the call ball across the timeline. Now Cummings from Milwaukee. 67-65, Milwaukee leads. Cummings by Paxson, lays it off for Pressey, looks for the three-pointer and stepped out of bounds. Michael Jordan caught an elbow on that last rebound.
Well, Michael Jordan caught the elbow, but he should have been checking Sidney Moncrief further out in the court and not allow him to get that running start for the offensive boards, because that's one real strength of Sidney Moncrief, getting to the offensive boards from the guard position.
John Paxson looks for Jordan roaming the sideline. Bounce pass into Corzine. Turn around over Sigma. It's good.
Isn't it something how they play? Jordan wasn't open, so Paxson, he looks for Corzine. They're not just standing around waiting for Michael Jordan to do something, and they've been doing it, especially starting this second half here.
Well, we're tied at 17, and Jordan has only 17 of those 67. We're tied at 67, rather. Here's Lucas. Oakley looks for the outlet for Jordan.
Well, you see what happens when you force him to the right. He ends up going off balance, leaning the wrong way when he goes up for that off balance one-hander.
Oakley to Sellers. Too strong. Cummings rebound. Milwaukee. 67 all with 6 minutes to go. Third quarter. John Lucas lays it off for Cummings. The shot is short. Oakley hit as he tries to fire it. And Cummings gets two.
Well, they were lucky that time, the Bucks.
5:45 to go third quarter. Vern Lundquist and Bill Cunningham here in Chicago Stadium. Michael Jordan. Top of the key, not there. And here's Lucas, as expected, forcing it all the way inside. Bounces off of Jordan, gets the ball to Cummings, gets the roll and in.
Excellent move, and that what the Bucks are doing defensively now. Anytime Jordan comes off the screen, unless it's set by the center, they're switching out. In that case, Cummings switched out.
22nd timeout called by Chicago, as the Bucks are up for a 71-67 lead. Now they're going to take the full timeout. 5:29 to go third quarter. Bucks up by 4. 5:29 to go third quarter. 71-67. Milwaukee up by that 4-point margin now. Elsewhere in college basketball, Purdue over Ohio State at the half by 8. Purdue ranked 6th in the country. A freshman defeat of Indiana. Clemson leading Duke at the half, and UCLA knocks off Louisville 99-86. UCLA won the Pac-10 earlier this week, and Nebraska trails Kansas 43-41 at the half. At the conclusion of the game, Billy Cunningham and I will select the Miller Lite Player of the Game. In conjunction with the award, Light Beer will present a check in the amount of $1,000 in the player's name to the Thurgood Marshall Black Education Fund. 71-67 Milwaukee. Chicago inbounds with Brad Sellers, and full court pressure applied by the Milwaukee Bucks.
And they got Michael Jordan handling the basketball. They'll try and, well, I know Donnie Nelson wanted Lucas to deny that ball to force Jordan to set up the offense and switch spots with Paxson.
Jordan setting up at a high post now. Breaks away from Pressey. 4 on the shot clock. He's not having a great shooting day.
Well, the reason is because of the defense the Bucks are employing right now. They've come out of the locker room and they've made some adjustments. As I mentioned, they're looking to switch out anytime he comes off any type of screen, except if it's set by the center.
Bucks go with Pressey. Ricky Pierce has it now, but with only 2 points in the game. Sigma from the corner. Long rebound taken down by Brad Sellers of Chicago. John Paxson quickly over to Michael Jordan. Double pump. Gets the shot to fall.
You know, the funny thing, there was a situation where Chicago was able to get Jordan the basketball out of transition, which is really tough to, you know, you just have to pick up and play straight man-to-man. But this is an area of his game that Doug Collins feels that has to improve, getting out into the open court. Because, you know, if you think of Julius Erving, and there's so many comparisons made between the two, Julius Erving, he gets into the open court, he attacks. Michael does not like to attack in the open court unless he's wide open for the dunk.
That three-point play shaves the margin to 1, 71-70. With 4:20 to go, third quarter. Now, three-man game on the right side. Sigma. Shovel pass. Cummings with the turnaround. And a whistle before the shot. 3-second violation. Michael Jordan, an average of 37.5. 4 games versus Milwaukee, 29.8. He's got 20 today. He had a season low 11 points against Milwaukee back in December, but he went out with a knee injury with 5 seconds to go in the first half and was only 3 for 17 from the field in that game. Here's Lucas quickly. Ricky Pierce, count the basket, go to the line. Michael Jordan gets the foul. That's 4 fouls on Jordan.
And it's decision time for Doug Collins. Does he take him out and sit him down for the last 4 minutes of this period and then bring him back? It looks like that's what he's going to do.
Yep, John Paxson gets up and he'll come in.
Now, the thing that you have to be concerned with, if you're at the other end of the court, Don Nelson, his team sees Jordan go to the bench. Do now they feel, oh boy, a sigh of relief? We got him off the court. Now we're under control. Or do they just say, hey, now we have a chance to really go after them, which they didn't do in the first half. And Chicago was very successful with Jordan on the bench. Here comes the trap.
Sedale Threet, number 3, comes across the timeline, guarded by John Lucas. He looks for Michael Brown. Chicago going with Threet, Brown, Paxson, Brad Sellers, and Oakley. Threet with the rebound. And a fresh 24 on the clock for Chicago. From the corner, Oakley. Sigma misses the rebound. Sellers with the follow.
What happened is Sigma just mistimed the ball. He thought it was just going to come off on one bounce, and it just nicked the rim, and he was just out of sync, and Sellers was able to pick it up.
74-72. Well, there were 3:45 to go in a 4-point Milwaukee lead when Michael Jordan went down, so we'll see what happens now. That's the 11th turnover for Milwaukee.
Vern, that's a play that Don Nelson's been running for the 11 years he's been in pro basketball. He loves to hit the elbow and then post up a guard down low, and that's what they were trying to do, but they had good defensive pressure on Sigma and an errant pass.
Brad Sellers follows his own shot. Michael Brown gets it. Should have taken the shot, but fires underneath.
More importantly, they got to settle down and run something constructive offensively. They're just not doing that right now.
Sedale Threet fouls Ricky Pierce.
Well, there's an example. Those quick hands got him in trouble.
2 minutes and 51 seconds to go. Third quarter. Timeout has been called. Here on CBS. Your 76ers are struggling a little bit right now.
Yes, they are. When you're injured the way they are now, with starting out with Ruland and expecting so much from him in the middle, and Matty Gukas having to play 7 players every night, the wear and tear catches up with you through the NBA.
Which is something with which Milwaukee is accustomed, having had Pressey and Moncrief out for so long. Now Ricky Pierce at the line.
But if you look at Houston, where they've had the injury, they had the problem with Ralph Sampson, and then the problems with Wiggins and Lewis going into rehab centers. They're playing the best basketball they've played all year. So you never know, and I get the credit's got to go to Bill Fitch and keeping that team together.
Ricky Pierce, who may be the only player ever from Walla Walla, Washington Junior College to make it in the NBA.
Well, we see them throwing a token trap. What they're trying to do is just to force them to use a little of the clock and create a turnover here and there.
How about that move by Pressey? And Lucas gets it. Now settles it down, 76-72 with 2.5 to go, third quarter. Paul Pressey.
3-man game, looking inside to Cummings. Oh, isn't that beautiful? What they do is they just have the 2 men on the baseline playing together and the man making the pass, the other 2 wide on the weak side.
A 6-point lead now. It was 4 when Jordan left at the 3:45 mark in the third quarter. Jordan on the bench with 4 fouls.
That's the man right there that's got to add some offense for this ball club.
Oakley takes the shot and hits.
Now, if one thing Charles runs into problems with Oakley is sometimes he starts forcing up shots a little too far out of his range. When he plays under control, posting up and shooting that 12, 15-footer, he's an excellent basketball player.
Milwaukee immediately goes back to the 3-man game, and Cummings works on Oakley. Pretty good matchup right there. 4 on the shot clock. The turnaround is good.
Yeah, but there's not much Charles Oakley can do in that situation, not getting any help defensively, because Terry Cummings has all the moves. He can shoot the jump shot. He can go left or to his right, so tough position for him.
Cummings with 17. Sedale Threet underneath to Oakley. Over Sigma. Tries it again and gets it to fall.
Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Doug Collins makes some kind of adjustment. He likes his big people to play head up inside, but if they have more success looking inside, now we see the three-man game again with Sigma and Ricky Pierce. He's going to go in, and then he'll come, if he has the chance, he'll go out.
Sigma. Oakley with the rebound. That's 9 rebounds for Charles Oakley. Sadeo Threet looks inside for Michael Brown. Strong move by Brown. Puts Sigma on his back, as well as our cameraman, John Aguirre. And John can't get up.
Hang in there, John. It beats working.
80-78, final 39 seconds of the third quarter. Follow shot by Ricky Pierce. He had only 2 at the half, and he's been a constant presence off the bench here in the third quarter.
Well, I think after this game, any team that plays against John Lucas is going to look to force him to the right because he hasn't had much success.
Brad Sellers to John Paxson. Paxson penetrates, puts up the jumper and cans it.
Big shot. John has been struggling so far today. Not a very smart foul there by Sellers in the backcourt with Pressey.
Randy Brewer coming in from Milwaukee now, as well as Elston Turner for the Chicago Bulls. Jack Sickner will sit down. And John Paxson will get a rest for Chicago.
And now Elston Turner is matched up with Ricky Pierce, and that's going to be quite a matchup because Elston Turner is an outstanding defensive ball player, and we know that Ricky Pierce can put the ball in the hole.
Greg Hodges. That's 2.
He didn't waste any time coming off the bench.
Ball nearly stolen. Sadeo Threet gets it back.
He actually walked on that play.
That's the end of the third quarter with our score 84-80 Milwaukee. We'll return to Chicago Stadium in Chicago after this word from your local station. Back for the final quarter from a sold-out Chicago Stadium in Chicago, Illinois. The Milwaukee Bucks lead Chicago 84-80. I'm Vern Lundquist along with Bill Cunningham. Michael Jordan gets back into the lineup playing with 4 fouls. And the Bulls will also have Elston Turner. There's Michael, 20 points now. And 4 fouls, perhaps the most significant factor.
Now, in the fourth quarter, Don Nelson was saying to me that Michael Jordan likes to take over a lot more at this period, and they'll look to double team. We see it right away. They're going to double team him anytime he touches the ball in the fourth quarter because that's where he's at his best.
Inside on Greg Hodges, but the shot's not there. And here's Hodges, number 15. Now in the first half, for a brief period, Hodges was on Jordan, and Jordan spurted. Rebound Sellers off of Ricky Pierce's shot. Elston Turner in the backcourt, double team, but gets it across the timeline. Now they've got Paul Pressey on Michael Jordan. Spread the court, look at him drive the lane, and again, Bill, it's just not as sharp as we've seen him.
Yeah, that was Michael Jordan missing that. That had nothing to do with the defense from Milwaukee.
Terry Cummings doesn't miss. He's got 19 in the game.
But I would come back right with that same play if I was Doug Collins because it was so effective. They'll set a screen out high, and Michael has the choice. Penetrate, find the open man.
This time it's Cummings and Pressey doubling on Jordan. Michael Brown has to try and get it over 7-3 Randy Brewer. Saves it. 4 on the shot clock. Jordan for 3. Brewer, long rebound. 86-80, Ricky Pierce, offensive foul.
It appeared to be a good call.
That was a chancy move by Jordan, don't you think?
Well, yeah, you know, and if I'm Doug Collins, I would want to say, hey, Michael, let this one go. Well, he moved in there, too. He moved that left shoulder, and that could have been an offensive foul, a defensive foul on him, and a 5th foul, and he'd have to go right to the bench again.
That, as a result, is the 4th foul on Ricky Pierce. Elston Turner underneath, good pass from Turner. Oh, dandy.
But because Michael Jordan was running on the baseline, everybody was jumping out. That freed the direct pass from Elston Turner.
86-82, 10:20 to go in the game. Another offensive foul. This one called on Paul Pressey.
Pushing off with the left arm, going to the hole. Now they need a little spurt right here, Chicago. Get this crowd involved in the game because they're dying to get involved. This team has won 3 games in a row. The Bucks have won 8 out of their last 9. So 2 teams that are playing good basketball at this time of the year.
Milwaukee 2.5 back of Detroit. Sellers, and that'll be inbounded by Milwaukee.
Poor shot selection by Charles Oakley at that point.
86-82, 9:57 remaining. Largest lead of the game has been 8. Largest Chicago lead was 3 at 52-49.
Now, I hope we have a replay of that.
I think it was a design play.
Absolutely, and it's something they worked on yesterday. They were trying to throw the ball off the backboard right here. Now watch it thrown up because Brewer lets Corzine get in front of him, and he's looking for that ball coming off the backboard. Great play.
It was a design play. Timeout has been called. Back in a moment. The gray-haired fella down in that huddle is Del Harris, and that play reminded you of something he drew up once.
Absolutely, Vern. In 1980, playing against the Boston Celtics when he was coaching the Houston Rockets, he had a very big lineup, and one man, especially Moses Malone, and he would have Billy Pauls with the ball at the foul line, and they would look to throw it off the backboard because on that last play we saw Corzine fronting Brewer. That was great defense. So what his play was, hey, play the good defense, we'll throw it off the board, you get it, you lay it in. So the credit's got to go to Del Harris, and I'm sure Don Nelson would be the first one to give him that credit.
By the way, the other assistant on the bench for Milwaukee is Rick Majerus, who was associated with Marquette University for years and years. There's Rick. And passed up as the head coach at Marquette to join Don Nelson as an assistant in the NBA.
Well, assistants that have worked under Don Nelson have gone on and had some very good careers. And one we can think of right now is Mike Schuler, who called Don last night as soon as they beat Detroit to let him know that they had done that, especially seeing that Portland had beat Milwaukee twice, and they're trying to beat Detroit for this division.
Randy Brewer gets them both. 9:40 to go in the ball game. A 6-point Milwaukee lead.
Pick and roll out high.
Michael goes left. Oh. And then he goes left again.
Well, I think you'll see a lot of that coming down. They'll look to set that high screen and let Michael. They have 3 players on the baseline looking for the pass.
That shot is good by Paul Pressey, and he'll go to the line. Watch Michael Jordan
Now
penetrate.
Michael's going to get a screen. Corzine's going to look to come up. He sees the screen, and he just slides right in the lane. He goes left, he goes right, and then back to the left. But, you know, coming back the other way, Pressey just had great penetration to the basket. And when you play Paul Pressey, very similar to Michael Jordan, I would think. You know, you have to back off him a little bit, push him to his left, because he's so strong going to the right with the basketball.
Doesn't get the 3-pointer. Jordan gets the rebound. Let's check the Chicago lineup now. Jordan in the backcourt, along with Sedale Threet. They've got Corzine, who sets the screen for Michael Jordan. Elston Turner on the left wing and Oakley underneath. Elston Turner gets it. And for Milwaukee, Sigma, Craig Hodges, Ricky Pierce, Paul Pressey, and Randy Brewer underneath.
We might see that play the rest of this half.
Sigma traveled.
Indecision. Jack Sigma is struggling. It just doesn't seem the same as he was in the past. He's had some good shots he hasn't converted. Right there was a situation where normally Jack Sigma would go up for the jump shot or make a strong move to the basket.
The pass from Corzine, and Michael Jordan goes to the line again. I think it took Sigma something like 46 games before he went over the 20-point barrier in his first year with Milwaukee. That's unexpected.
Yeah, and, you know, he's playing with a team where there is some very good offensive players. You know, when you have an all-star, Sidney Moncrief, who's in the ball game now, and Paul Pressey, and you have Hodges, who's a great shooter, and Pierce, Terry Cummings. So he had to make some adjustments to his ball game for this ball club.
Jordan now 7 of 8 from the line today. He has been at the free throw line 619 times this year. Moses Malone is next in the league, and he's in the 500 somewhere.
I don't think I got to the line 619 times in my whole career.
John Lucas still on the bench, but Sidney Moncrief back in the lineup. Pressey to Sidney Moncrief with Jordan on him. Jordan playing with 4. Ricky Pierce went to the bench with 5 fouls a moment ago, and Sigma hits.
Boy, that's such a confidence builder for a player. When the last time down, he turns the ball over, he doesn't show confidence, and the coach calls his number. Just a great job by the coach.
Here's the play again. Jordan rejected by Sigma. Brewer gets it. Then Corzine gets it back. And Michael goes to the line for a three-pointer.
Well, Don Nelson is beside himself walking up and down the sideline. They played perfect defense on this. Jordan goes to the hole. They surround him, force the turnover, and then bang, Brewer throws it away, and there's a three-point play.
26 for Michael Jordan. Don Nelson wants a timeout. Michael Jordan, 26 points. He has become one of the biggest stars in the NBA.
More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman. Strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman.
Well, not Superman exactly today. 9 of 21, but boy, when, as you said, Bill, to open the fourth quarter, they're going to let him run that play over and over and over.
Yeah, thank goodness he's not afraid of heights.
If he continues to score at a 37.5 point per game average, he will become only the second man in NBA history to go over 3,000 and the first guard to ever do it. Now, if he scores at that average over the final 29 games, he joins Wilt Chamberlain. That's a pretty select company.
Yeah, it's like batting 400 in baseball. It's just a phenomenal feat, especially being a guard. And, you know, of course, Wilt Chamberlain, that's unbelievable. He scored over 4,000, averaged over 50 points in one season. And in that year, he averaged over 48 minutes played.
92-91, Bulls have shaved it to 3. Jordan has 27.
There's a three-man game against Vern. Looking to get inside to Sigma or Moncrief for the shot.
Moncrief on Jordan. Offensive foul on Sidney Moncrief.
Moncrief is very upset with this. Now I'm interested to see what are they going to do this time down the court if they run that same play. Well, it's interesting. They're not going to look to run it. They're going to just have them popping off screens.
And that's what Jordan does on the left side. Scoop shot. He'll shoot a couple more.
You know what? That's a good play by Doug Collins, because I'm sure Don Nelson spent that time out explaining, now these are the adjustments we're going to make on this play. When Corzine sets the screen and Jordan comes off, Doug Collins comes out and he said, hey, let's run something different and get Michael the ball in a different position.
28 points in the ball game.
I also, if I was Don Nelson, I'd come to the other end, run the same play against Michael Jordan, trying to draw that fifth foul, because he's playing a star. Sidney Moncrief is a star. The last time down, the official called it against Sidney. Put the pressure on the official to make that call.
Here's Craig Hodges, and Moncrief has it. Let's see if he goes right at Michael Jordan. Looks around. Sigma. Brewer, jump ball. Dave Corzine and Randy Brewer. Hey, if Corzine is playing in his hometown, his mom and dad are retired now. They have watched him play every game since he joined the Bulls. They used to boo him a lot in this facility, and they don't.
A lot. Oh my goodness!
I'm being kind.
How about when you take your warm-up jersey off, and all of a sudden you hear a crowd just start booing of 20,000 people? It doesn't reinforce your confidence very much.
He had his DePaul leather jacket on yesterday, so they're having the kind of season they are, hauling out of mothballs. Sedale 3. 93-92, Chicago. They quickly get it to Jordan on Pressey, and Sigma leaves his feet. The shot is short. Oakley, strong rebound and in.
That's because of Michael Jordan right there. The penetration, drawing all the players, left that open lane for Charles Oakley to capitalize on.
Paul Pressey, guarded by Elston Turner. Shot short, rebound Cummings, stripped away by Elston Turner, saves it. And Doug Collins hollers, slow it down.
Game's getting awfully physical, and it's going in Chicago's direction right now.
Michael Jordan. Loose ball picked up by Elston Turner. 5 on the shot clock. 4. Turner takes the jumper. Oakley comes out and grabs the rebound.
Well, Doug Collins right now has his quickest 5 players on the basketball court that he can have in the game. With Elston Turner and 3 at the guard position, a lot of quickness, and Jordan now playing at the small forward position.
Back to Corzine, who wasn't ready for it. 6 on the shot clock. Oakley for 3. Rebound Milwaukee. Moncrief.
This game is going to boil down to defense.
Turnover, that's 16 against Milwaukee. Here's another interesting point. In the game, only 6 Chicago turnovers so far. Timeout has been called by Chicago. '95-92, Chicago on an 11-2 run in the last 4 minutes has taken the lead. Both teams with 3 full timeouts and a 22nd timeout remaining in the final 6 minutes. Vern Lundquist along with Bill Cunningham among those in foul trouble for Milwaukee. Ricky Pierce with 5 and Sigma with 4. Michael Jordan picked up his 4th foul with 3:45 to go third quarter.
And Gene Banks is back in the ball game playing at the small forward position. Now we're going to see that same play. Corzine setting the screen, but they're going to double him right away.
With Sigma. So Michael Jordan takes it in and Sigma gets the rebound. Hit from behind, Lucas picks it up for Milwaukee. John Lucas goes right and gets the shot.
That's the first one, and that was the time to make it. Jordan was very upset with the official at this other end, feeling he got fouled.
95-94. Chicago still on top. Sadale Threet. Corzine. They set the screen for Jordan right side this time. Drives the baseline. Tries the reverse layup. Wanted to draw the foul. Didn't get it. Here's Pressey. John Lucas backs up at three-point range and settles things down.
Well, the Chicago team is a veteran ball club. They know how to react and play on the road.
Gary Cummings. And Milwaukee's back on top. Since the timeout, 4 unanswered Milwaukee points. And Cummings with 21 leads all scorers in the green. Now Jordan roaming the baseline, comes to the right. Threet with the shot. And Sigma with another rebound.
Quick shot. And the other thing is that even if the foul wasn't called, Threet followed his own shot, and it was wide open at the other end of the court. The lead guard, if he shoots the basketball, he's got to think back defensively and not allowing anything easy.
Oakley picks up his 4th foul. Sigma leaves and goes left side as Pressey passes back to John Lucas. Lucas had 11 first quarter points. He's got 17 in the game. Rebound taken down by Oakley, who first looks for the outlet and then settles it down. 4:28 to go, 96-95, Milwaukee on top. Moncrief on Jordan.
You see them switching on the baseline. Cummings ending up with Jordan.
And they get Jordan popping free. The tip goes in.
Terry Cummings, I think, tipped that basketball.
I think you're exactly right. 97-96. Chicago trying to go 4 above the 500 mark. Milwaukee trying to get its 37th win of the season. Bucks are 36-22 and 13-14 on the road. They've been a good road team. Cummings.
He's such an excellent ball handler. Loves to play out on the court. Can hurt you in any way. Inside, outside, on the boards at the offensive end.
23 points for Cummings. Look for Corzine, and Cummings knocks it out of bounds. Leading scorers so far, Jordan with 31, Cummings 23 points for Milwaukee. Banks back to Oakley. Clock shows 3:35 remaining in the game. Sadale Threet to Oakley, thinks about it and then takes it.
That's why he missed it. He thought about it.
Banks with a hook, gets the roll and it drops.
Great job by Gene Banks getting to the offensive boards.
Chicago, 1-point lead, 99-98, 3:19 to go. That's for three. They're 4 of 6 from three-point range now.
Yeah, and they've taken a few at this end of the court. You'd like to have a little more patience, try to get a little better shot than that three-pointer. You see them double-teaming Jordan out on the court. They're not going to let him, they're going to try not to anyway, allow him to beat them.
Jordan lays it back for Corzine, pops it underneath. Basket, foul shot.
Boy, you see this enthusiasm with this young ball club. They're just building in confidence. You know, earlier in the year, they would never have won a ball game like this. It's a great pass right there by Corzine, finding Jordan wide open.
Michael Jordan left the game with his 4th foul and sat out the final 3 minutes and 45 seconds of the third quarter. He's now got 33 points, 13 in the 4th period. Make it 14. And he's 12 of 13 from the line. A 4-point Chicago edge, 102-98, with 2:45 to go in the game.
Good pressure by Chicago defensively.
Oakley doing a great job. Milwaukee ball.
They came down that time. They were denying one pass away, and Terry Cummings had no place to go. If that was college, that would have been a 5-second rule on Terry Cummings.
Timeout has been called by the Milwaukee Bucks. Back in a moment. 2:40 remaining in his 5th meeting of the season between these division rivals. The Milwaukee Bucks now trailing Chicago by 4. Bucks have 2 timeouts left, plus the 22nd. Chicago with 3 full timeouts and 1 22nd left.
Well, if you look at this game and you find one area that really stands out and say, well, this is the reason Chicago is winning to this point, it's offensive rebounding. They're out rebounding on the offensive glass. 20 offensive rebounds for Chicago to 8 for this Milwaukee Buck team. And it's tough to win when you give up that many offensive rebounds.
That plus the absence of turnovers for Chicago. They have 7 in the game. That's outstanding. Sigma fouled. Sedale 3. That's his 3rd.
From this point on, Vern, both teams will be in the penalty.
Paul Pressey will inbound for Milwaukee. Terry Cummings. Cummings goes right, puts it up, scoop shot. Loose ball.
Oakley will shoot the foul shots at the other end of the court.
Doug Collins and Michael Jordan. They had a little bit of a tempestuous relationship when Doug was named to the spot.
Yeah, they didn't get along either early.
Oh, dear.
No, you're right, Vern, because I think one of the reasons was initially, here's a guy coming in, never had coached the team before. Michael Jordan had 2 previous coaches here in Chicago, didn't know what to expect. You know, at first didn't get along, and where did they get together? On the golf course, and they worked everything out, and they just really enjoy each other's company, and you can see how Michael's responded to Doug's coaching.
Oakley misses 2. A chance to go up 6 goes by the wayside. 2:15 to go in the ball game. Costly free throw misses for Charles Oakley. John Lucas penetrates back to Pressey. Pressey fires a pass, picked off by Corzine.
Now they'll try to use a little bit of the clock, make sure they execute offensively well, try to get it in Michael's hands.
Michael's on the left side, being guarded by Ricky Pierce. Corzine, high post, dives for the loose ball. Nice job by Corzine. And Jordan can't hang on, but he'll go to the line.
Boy, is that great hustle, those big guys going to the floor.
How about Corzine at 6'11", diving down like that?
Terry Cummings is good.
I will see the pass. And then, okay, great move there by Jordan drawing the foul. But Gene Banks made that fine pass, and an unselfish one to Michael Jordan.
And Corzine saved it all when he dived down and retrieved the ball. Now Jordan at the line. He is 12 of 13 today. with 15 points in the final quarter. He now has 35.
I wouldn't be surprised that one of two things, for them to look for the quick shot or look for the three-point shot. They have three excellent shooters out there for that range. We have Presley and Lucas look inside to either Cummings or to Sigma in the post area.
Largest lead of the game for Chicago, 6, 104-98. Going after their fourth and a 29-25 record. Sedale 3 tried for the reach-in.
Yeah, they could have called that either on Threet or Corzine. One reaching in, the other giving a forearm. Now, right after, I would expect, we have seen Milwaukee throw a token press at the Chicago Bulls team through 3.5 quarters. After this foul shot, I wouldn't be surprised to see them extend it, Vern, and look for the steal.
That was a foul on Corzine. Sigma at the line. Back to a 4-point ball game with 85 seconds remaining. Gene Banks, left side to Oakley, working the clock a little bit. Oh, they had Jordan back door and didn't see him.
Now they have to use a little patience. Try to use a little bit of the clock.
Michael Jordan, jumper. Oakley with the offensive board, but he goes out of bounds. It'll be Milwaukee's ball.
Yeah, that was a great pass, great execution, but Michael Jordan has just not been able to knock down that jump shot with any consistency today.
104-100 as we near the 1-minute mark in the ball game.
Need a quick score from Milwaukee.
Pierce off the screen, puts it up short. Rebound, Jordan.
Boy, he looked like he got fouled that time by Banks.
That's what Don Nelson's claiming.
And more than anything, he's such an outstanding shooter. You don't see him miss the basket that badly.
40 seconds to go. They get it in Jordan's hands, now to Corzine. Bounce pass, Chicago inbound.
That's a young player's mistake there. With 28 seconds left in the game, you get the offensive rebound, 24 seconds on the clock. Take it out. Use the whole 24 seconds if you can. You can't lose if you do that.
Michael Jordan, we're in the final 25 seconds of the ball game.
Got to foul or get the steal. They've got to foul.
12 on the shot clock. They don't want Jordan at the line.
Wasting too much time.
Underneath, the foul is called on Oakley, who missed his last two. Well, if you've got to foul somebody, not a bad choice.
Yeah, but the Bucks were not in a situation where they could be selective on who they wanted to foul. They just wasted too much time. As a matter of fact, 14 seconds ran off the clock.
A 20-second timeout is called by Milwaukee. And that timeout comes with 14 seconds. Well, good afternoon of sports for you this afternoon on CBS. Tonight, Outlaws, followed by the CBS Saturday movie. They finally wrote about us, Bill.
Oh, the Outlaws. Oh, boy. Butch Cassidy over here.
It's Sundance, right. Pals coming up tonight on CBS. Outlaws followed by Pals. We've got NBA basketball for 14 more seconds. Milwaukee trails 104-100. That golf match that Billy was talking about with Michael Jordan took place last spring or last summer down in Phoenix. And Danny Pohl, who was a touring member of the PGA, was the third part of it. Doug was telling us yesterday that Michael, who is a good golfer with a 9 handicap, wasn't playing with a flip the first day, but then he got all his money back plus the next. That's when they became friends.
Hey, it was worth it for Doug to lose.
That's right. On the line, Charles Oakley. Oh.
He got all of the rim on that one.
Oh. That'll bring a grin. A 6-point edge, 14 seconds remaining. Oakley with 20 points.
Okay, Hodges is in there, another 3-point shooter.
Lucas, that's for 2. Pierce, will they bring it back outside? No, he takes it off the glass for 2. 106-102.
Game's over.
Sigma fouls Michael Jordan with 4 seconds remaining.
They needed that three-pointer to shoot the three-pointer in that case, just to get a chance to tie, because even if he misses these, they have to make up 4 points, and that's, unless someone is stupid enough to foul somebody shooting a three-point shot, they have no chance.
Jack Sigma draws his 6th foul. Sigma leaves with 12 points. And 11 rebounds.
Well, this is a big win for Chicago, because from this game, they go out on the road, and they stay out on the road for quite a while. So this will let this young ball club go out there with a lot of confidence in themselves. You know, winning a game here on CBS and winning against a team that's always a contender for the NBA title in the Milwaukee Bucks.
Junior Bridgman comes into the lineup. Charles Oakley sits down.
But I'll tell you one thing, though, Baron. I like this Milwaukee Buck team. Once Moncrief gets back into the flow, Pressey's finger is better. Sigma, I think, can improve and play better basketball. This team is going to throw a lot of different looks at a lot of teams when they get to the playoffs.
Well, with one more free throw, Michael Jordan will surpass his per-game average that leads the NBA. Didn't get it, so he's going to settle for 37 points in the ball game. Timeout, Milwaukee. It comes with 3 seconds to go, and they face a 5-point deficit here in Chicago. Final 3 seconds of the game as the Bulls go after their 4th win in a row. That would put them at 29-25 for the year. And Milwaukee will fall to 36-23 and lose ground on Detroit. But an interesting, really fascinating performance by the Bulls in the 4th quarter. They responded when they were down by 4 when Jordan went to the bench with 4 seconds, or rather with almost 3-4 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter.
You know, Vern, it's like superstars at any sport. You can struggle all game, and then it comes to nitty-gritty. They have that ability to just raise everything another notch or two and respond to it. And that's what Michael Jordan did.
Pressey with the steal puts it up and in. And 1 second to go as the clock stops after a made basket in the final 2 minutes. But that's it. And Doug Collins at the age of 35. Michael Jordan with 37 points, just a half-point shy of his season average. They lead Milwaukee to a 3-point win. Miller Lite player of the game, Michael Jordan, 37 points.
And he didn't play a great game. Isn't that amazing?
Light beer from Miller, proud to present a check for $1,000 on behalf of Michael Jordan to the Thurgood Marshall Black Education Fund. Don't forget, a big day of sports coming up tomorrow. We'll tip it off with NCAA basketball, Oklahoma against Kentucky on CBS. That gets a 12 noon Eastern start. Then the NBA on CBS continues. Dick Stockton, Tommy Heinsohn will bring you the Philadelphia 76ers against the Houston Rockets. And we'll wrap it up with the final round of the Doral Ryder Open Golf Tournament from Los Angeles. That's tomorrow, or rather from Miami. That is tomorrow. Don't forget, the NBA on CBS is a presentation of CBS Sports.